Hello, and welcome to my new channel, Super Black Jewel, where we analyze the Black supernatural in real life occurrences and in the media, including characters in TV and film. So, in today's first video, we're going to be talking about the water slide coaster that's opening up on Lake Lanier. So, according to the New York Post, the new Apocalypso, like why are they calling it that? Water slide at Georgia's hunted Lake Lanier causes an uproar. So locals are in an uproar over plans to build a water slide coaster at Georgia's Lake Lanier, which is infamous for its troubled past. The ride will be a part of the new fenced-up water park at Margaritaville in Lake Lanier Islands, which will open May 4th, according to its website. The water coaster, known as Apocalypso, will redefine aquatic thrills, the park's website promised. Officials attend a groundbreaking ceremony for the ride on Wednesday, according to WSB TV. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you guys could see. So this is going to be the slide, and it's opening up May 4th. So I don't know why it has volume, a song on there. But yes, this is it. And they're marketing it. So yeah, that's the slide. And this is Lake Lanier. It's located about an hour northeast of Atlanta. And yeah, this is the water park. So it will have the largest blaster-rango drop in the U.S., including up and downhill speeds of 30 miles per hour. And yeah, they said the locals are infuriated by this because of the past of this Lake Lanier. So I'm going to get into the past here. So um, according to Teen Vogue. So this is like not even a something that people don't know about. This is in the popular mainstream media. So according to Teen Vogue, let me share it. Okay. Lake Lanier, the history of a black town enduring racism and mysterious deaths. So, on August 3rd, the body of a 27-year-old man was found in Georgia's Lake Lanier. Days earlier, he had disappeared and drowned while swimming. The week before, another man drowned in a lake. A few days before that, on July 27th, a 24-year-old jumped into the lake and was electrocuted and later died. For folks who are familiar with Lake Lanier, a Georgia landmark, these tragic deaths aren't surprising. Over the years, hundreds of people have died there, making Lake Lanier one of the deadliest lakes in the United States. I'm hearing it's about 200 bodies or more. So, Christmas Day 1964 is known as the deadliest day at Lake Lanier, where a driver lost control of their car while crossing a bridge. The car flipped into the lake where 5 children and 2 adults drowned. So in 2012, the 11-year-old son of Tamika Foster, who is the ex-wife of Usher, died at Lake Lanier. This year, on the 11th anniversary of her son's death, Foster launched a petition to drain, clean, and restore the lake. Bearing in mind its history, only can one can imagine what will be found if drained. So this is the petition here. To all responsible decision makers, we, the concerned citizens, visitors, and advocates for safety and inclusivity, hereby petition for urgent action to address the dangers and historical associations associated with Lake Lanier. We believe that it's imperative to drain, comprehensively clean, restore, and implement improved safety measures at the lake to ensure the well-being of all individuals engaged in personal watercraft and recreational activities. So, we call for the actions to be taken at Lake Lanier. Drain, clean, and restore the lake to remove any potential hazards, materials, debris, and potential dangers lurking within the lake to ensure a safe and enjoyable environment for visitors. Implement stricter regulations and proper zoning for various water-related activities, ensuring that all users of the lake abide by safety guidelines and regulations, and enhance the enforcement of rules and regulations to prevent avoidable accidents and tragedies. So we're not going to get into the whole petition, but if you guys want to check that out, it's on change.org. So I also want to show you guys a little bit of a clip of somebody going underwater and how creepy it is. Tell me this doesn't send a chill down your spine. Okay, so isn't that so creepy? So I'm gonna let you guys see what some of the relatives of Oscarville. So if you didn't know, Oscarville is the town that got flooded, and it's at the bottom of Lake Lanier. And this is why a lot of people believe that all the supernatural occurrences are happening because, our ancestors are hunting the people who visit the Lake Lanier, and that's why they named the Waterslide Apocalypse. So disrespectful to all the people who passed in that. So here's what the relatives of Oscarville residents had to say.
Talk about this on social media for the last few years. And if you haven't heard of it, it's probably because it no longer exists. It's buried under Lake Lanier. 11 Alive's Latasha Gibbons has more.
When we started working on this story, we set out to track down descendants of Oscarville. Weeks later, we found a family who could trace back their roots 4 generations. They shared with us stories that were handed down about what the all-Black town was like, including the night that led to its destruction. It was set on fire by night riders after they say a white woman was raped. Then later, it was covered by the body of water we now know as Lake Lanier. May Crow is buried here at this Gainesville cemetery, but the trail of destruction following her death stretches into the land surrounding Forsyth County, buried beneath these waves of Lake Lanier, where in 1912 nearly every Black resident was forced out. That includes people living in an old Black town called Oscarville. The community was formed in the late 1800s during the Reconstruction era.
There was a very strong community feeling among the Blacks. About 300 kids, children, that went to some of the schools that were the Black schools, and it was closely connected to the churches.
Georgia history teacher Lisa Crosby says Oscarville was a thriving Black community, full of carpenters, blacksmiths, and bricklayers, but farming was the top trade.
So they really had kind of a miraculous farming growth here while the rest of the state was really struggling.
But then residents were abruptly forced off their land.
So the flashpoint, I think, is 1912.
This takes us back to the death of May Crow. The 19-year-old white woman was found dead in the woods near Oscarville, presumably after being raped.
Typically, the answer to white girls being raped was go to the Black community and just start blaming people.
By nightfall, terror began to reign over Oscarville.
So from there, the rage and hatred in the community, mobs got together and they were called night riders, and they were riding throughout Oscarville and driving out the Black community.
And the night turned deadly. They were waking up by fires outside, fire bombs thrown in the church.
Filmmaker Bob Mackey recaptures those horrific nights in an upcoming television series.
Anytime anything happened, guess where everyone would go? To the church. Well, they attacked the church. People were hung, lynched.
Mackey's series features stories of direct descendants like George Rucker, who can trace his family back 4 generations to Oscarville. He tells the story of his great-grandfather, Bert Oliver, and the entire family being forced off their land.
Night riders came through. They had to leave everything. The main thing they left was property. My grandfather had 100 acres.
Rucker says many relatives died as they tried to flee.
So when they got to the Chattahoochee River, from what I understand, they were told, when the mob got up on the bridge, they were told that they either had to swim or drown. Most of them didn't make it. My grandfather, one of them that did make it, he lost some brothers and sisters.
He says his relatives who survived settled in Gainesville.
From what my mother told me, buried all of them. He would sit and tell her this story, and he would just sit and cry.
Crosby says whites in the area took over the remaining properties. She says Oscarville farmers were specifically skilled in raising poultry, which set the pace for Gainesville eventually becoming poultry capital of the world.
You have a farm already going, and you had free land, so you just take it.
Rucker says his great-grandfather married his second wife, Beulah, and they built this school that still stands in Gainesville today. By the late 1950s, the Beaufort Dam was built and Lake Lanier was formed, covering up Oscarville and swallowing most of its history.
Many believe Lake Lanier is haunted because of the high number of drownings. We spoke to officials who tell us because there is an entire town that includes structures and even forest areas with trees that are 60 feet tall, it makes it more difficult to navigate through, and someone can easily become trapped in debris, leading them to drowning. We have so much more on this story on our website.
Okay, so you guys heard that. So yes, now Tamika Foster, we mentioned the ex-wife of Usher. She wants, like I said, she wants this place drained and just gone. And they did the opposite and built a water slide. So this is Tamika Foster talking about it, or the article about, what she had to say.
Fear at Lake Lanier.
It happens every year.
The drownings and boat accidents are at a high.
3 people lost their lives in a boat fire on Georgia's Lake Lanier.
Renewed concerns about safety on the lake.
A lot has happened in the 2 years since TSR Investigates took a deep dive into Georgia's largest lake.
I tried to give them time to kind of get it right.
But time's up, says Usher's ex-wife, Tamika Foster Raymond, who lost her son here.
We have to do something.
Her fight to make sure nobody else dies at the lake, and what filmmakers recently discovered while shooting a new movie at Lake Lanier. I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates Updates.
It's been 11 years.
Painful years for Tamika Foster, who we all know as the well-known celebrity stylist and the ex-wife of R&B singer Usher.
I have been trying to bring attention to Lake Lanier since my son's accident, which was 2012.
She never got the chance to see her son, Kyle Glover, grow up. He was killed on a water tube at Lake Lanier, hit by somebody riding a jet ski. A year after his death, the Kyle Glover Boater Education Act was signed in Georgia, raising the minimum age to operate some boats, also requiring better boater education and lowering the legal blood alcohol limit for boating under the influence. But year after year,
Heat on that fire, man.
people continue to die at Lake Lanier, a summer destination for many people in the Atlanta metro area. There have been at least 8 drownings in 2023 so far, the highest since 2019. And the cases are bizarre. September 2nd, Gavry Whitlock slipped on a dock and fell into the water. He never resurfaced. He was later found in 17 feet of water. Then just days apart in August, 2 people swimming, they also went under and never resurfaced. And in July, this man, 24-year-old Thomas Milner, somehow got electrocuted out on the lake. His friends went to go save him and reported feeling a burning sensation underwater. Milner later died at the hospital.
What do you think the true issue is when it comes to Lake Lanier?
I really wish I knew. And that's what my petition is about. It's about finding out what the problem is.
A petition that recently went viral, pushing to drain, clean, restore, and improve Lake Lanier.
I don't think that it can be completely dried, but they need to lower the water levels so they can send in the crews to do the work that they need to do in order to make it a safer place. There's a bunch of stuff underneath the bottom of the lake. It was formerly a town called Oscarville. It was a thriving Black town, and there was other towns under there as well.
Remember, we told you in 1912, the government forced 250 families out of Oscarville destroying their livelihoods. Most of them were Black. And by the 1950s, the Army Corps of Engineers dumped 38,000 acres of water on what was left: old homes, Black businesses, cemeteries, and churches to construct the lake.
It was a thriving Black community.
Oscarville's dark history is the premise of Lanier the movie. It's coming out September 17th. We spoke to the filmmakers behind the project back in 2021. Now the film is complete.
Some of the things that happened in 1912 are still happening in this day and age, and racism is very much still
A thing.
a very big thing and topic of discussion, especially in those areas.
Okay, so you guys heard that. Now they're making a movie called Lanier, and it's a horror movie based on this situation. And now the water slide couldn't be even more horrible. That's just horrifying, to think about people just dying, on this slide, But yeah, so what do you guys think about this? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from Super Black Troll. Okay, bye.